People look at stories through different lenses. I have my own personal take on some of these trending issues. Hi, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to In Case You Missed It. Hello, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to today's episode of In Case You Missed It on SportsMax.tv. Today, let's welcome West Indies women's captain, Hayley Matthews. Hayley, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Firstly, congratulations on winning the Super50 Cup and the T20 Blaze. This is not new for Barbados. You won the double in 2018, 2019 and now in 2023. You didn't play the T20, but what a performance it has been from your team.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously going on there for the 50 over tournament and the T20 tournament, expectations were pretty high. But at the same time, I think the way we went out there and played in the 50 over comp, winning every single game was great to be a part of. And then leaving and heading home and watching the way the girls were still able to go out there and fight and win the T20 competition as well. It was a very proud moment. I'm very happy for the team and the way they were able to perform, the way the senior players really stepped up in that moment and were really supported by the juniors as well.
Yeah, a big win for Barbados. What does this win mean for your country and, of course, Barbados's women's cricket?
And I think every time we step out onto the park, we try to represent Barbados as best as we possibly can. And we can only continue to hope that with results like this, it helps women's cricket grow, not only in Barbados, but throughout the Caribbean as well. And hopefully we can see some programs being put in place to help young girls be able to find a pathway through to maybe represent the national team themselves one day as well.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, you missed the T20 because you were granted a recovery period as part of your workload management. Do you feel a bit rested now? Because you've been on the go as well, competition to competition.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was more so a bit of time to just kind of get home with family and friends and spend some time home before the busy second half of the year. Like you mentioned, I would have been on the road for quite some time, so been back home now for a couple of weeks. Still training and working hard, preparing for that Ireland series that we have coming up in a couple of weeks, but just good to be back home and seeing loved ones especially.
Yeah, I for sure understand that because, you know, we always need to go back home, go back to your roots, to, of course, feel rejuvenated, remember why we started and then come back again. So I want to cue in now on the T20 format, in particular, Kaisia Knight, who had an unbeaten half-century, and of course she had a major role to play as Barbados defeated the Leeward Islands by 8 wickets. How proud are you, of her and her efforts?
Yeah, I think the way she was able to perform straight from the 50 over tournament and right into the T20s, I think she obviously knew she had a lot of responsibility on her shoulders opening the batting, and she was able to go out there and I think deliver, especially in that final game against Leewards where we knew we had to win the game in order to get the title. So just kudos to her, and like I mentioned again, all the senior players that really stepped up well throughout the tournament.
Yeah, and with you stepping away to manage your workload, Shakira Selman, she had to come in and she held down the fort as captain for you. She ensured that you know exactly what you were doing, continuing on the winning streak that you started in the ODI format. What do you make of her as a player and her leadership skills?
I think Shakira is a brilliant captain. She would have been who was leading the team before I took over a couple of years ago. So we all had full faith in her to go out there and get the job done. We know Shakira as a bowler, obviously, but I think the thing that really stood out for me was the way she was able to put it together with the bat throughout the T20 tournaments and coming in crucial situations and really help the team to win close games. And I think leading by example is definitely one of those things where you speak about leaders being great leaders, and she was able to go out there and exemplify that brilliantly. So yeah, just really proud of the whole group and the way she led as well and the way she was able to lead by example.
Yeah, and speaking about leading by example, you've been having a stellar season. You grabbed 3 for 5 to finish as player of the series in the Women's Premier League. Mumbai Indians, they went on to win that competition. How was that overall experience for you? Did you always want to play for Mumbai?
I mean, it was great to be in the WPL first and foremost. I think probably looking at the auction, it was kind of one of those things where you kind of would have gone to any club. But I think, you know, Mumbai obviously has a special history, especially with Caribbean players. And I think, you know, Kieran Pollard's relationship that he has down there. So, yeah, I think it was great to see myself get picked up by Mumbai in the auction. But just the relationship I was able to build with the players and the team, down to the team owners when I was able to go down there has been really good, and hopefully a relationship we can keep going for a lot of years.
Yeah, and I did say you've been busy, so we're going to move now to the Fairbrick Invitational, which was in April. There you scored a magnificent century in an all-round performance to lead the Warriors women to the title. You were also named Player of the Match for the 123, and then you also got 2 for 14, and that of course helped your team to win. Your thoughts on how that competition went for you? It was live right here on SportsMax.
Oh yeah, well I think a competition like Fair Break obviously is good for so many reasons. Getting to see a lot of the associate girls share the field with all the international players and helping them to learn so much, I think is what makes being a part of the Fair Break competition so special. So yeah, just really grateful I was able to go down there and be a part of that on a whole, and then being able to contribute to team success always makes it even sweeter. So yeah, I think a fantastic competition to just be a part of on a whole, but the icing on the cake where you could take it home and have a really special performance as well.
Hayley, when you're not the captain and you're just playing in these franchise tournaments, do you feel a bit more free, as if, you know, because I feel like captaincy brings a bit of pressure. Anybody who's leading always feels like you need to make the right decision at the right time, else it's your fault. When you're playing in these franchise tournaments, are you able to just free up a bit and just enjoy?
I think the captaincy does bring a bit more responsibility, but I also do think it's about the way you kind of react to that and you kind of take it on. And every time I step onto the field, no matter who I'm playing for, I just try to do my absolute best. And I think it's no different when I go out there and play the franchise cricket. I probably don't have as much in my head, having to think about field placing and what bowlers I need to bring on next. But at the same time, you know, going out there for West Indies and captaining the team, I think it kind of does bring out something in me to almost want to push harder and fight even more.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you mentioned the Ireland tour that's coming up. The West Indies women will tour Australia in October for 3 one-day internationals, 3 T20 internationals. How much are you looking forward to this assignment? Because it's a very, very big one.
Yeah, I think personally going up against a team like Ireland, it's going to be pretty good for us right now. I think it's a great step leading into the rest of our year, and obviously some crucial points up to grab for the ICC championship. But then at the same time, heading into Australia, we know going to play in a place like that against a team like that is going to be tough. But I think for us, we're going to try to go out there and play our absolute hardest. And first and foremost, make sure that we always have a lot of learning taking place and just try to be as prepared as possible for the competition.
Yeah, and Hayley, some news coming to hand that made me very excited on the show. Of course, Windies women, the ladies, will now fly business class for long-haul international flights. They get to stay in single rooms for international games, which is what the men are usually afforded. What does this mean for the direction of women's cricket under the new CWI administration?
Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction for sure. Definitely something a long time coming now, so it's great to see it actually being put at the forefront and come to fruition now. But yeah, I think like the rest of the stuff, we could only hope that things continue to move in the right directions and we have the correct conversations in order to get that going.
Right, and the conversations, of course, we're an open book here at SportsMax. You can always reach out to me. We can ask the hard questions. So we're looking forward to see, you know, you do well, and of course, you know, West Indies women's cricket continue in the right direction. As always, it's a pleasure talking to you. I want to thank you so much for taking the time and, you know, chatting with us on In Case You Missed It.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, well, that's it from us for today. Be sure to like, share and comment. Let me know how much you love watching our Windies skipper light up the cricket pitch. Goodbye for now.